Hey everyone, so we are just back from 5 days out on the Fool's Loop here in Phoenix, Arizona, kind of chilly Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, what I wanted to do was share how I specifically pack a hardtail. All right, let's do it. So before we do unpack this bike, I do want to take a quick moment to let you all know that this video is supported in part by Coros, the brand behind the Coros Dura Solar GPS bike computer. The Dura is a head unit that you might have seen in some of our videos, and well, for good reason. It offers an impressive 120 hours of battery life on a single charge. And if that wasn't enough, well, it features highly efficient solar panels on top, which make a noticeable difference in sunny conditions. With simple controls and intuitive navigation, it's perfect for bike packing or day rides of any length. So, to learn a little bit more about this BIKEPACKING.com Gear of the Year award winner, you can click on the card in the top right corner, or else follow the link in the description below. All right, so this hardtail here is obviously kind of unique to me, at least. This is a custom Good Day Curiosity hardtail. And so what you might notice right off the bat is the ample frame space. Obviously, I have a little bit more space, but I will get into what exactly I put in the frame when we get to that. All right, so starting with the front bag. So this is a Rogue Panda Blue Ridge harness. It's actually one of my favorite handlebar harnesses I've ever used. It's a pretty simple, no frills handlebar harness that stays extremely stable, especially through the rough stuff, which if you've been on the Fool's Loop, the Black Canyon Trail, it gets pretty darn rough. So let's unstrap this. So oftentimes inside my handlebar system, I carry my clothes, but this time I kind of changed it up just because the dry bags work a little bit better where they are now. So this is actually my sleep kit. So inside, we'll open it up here. I have a small little kind of ground cloth. This actually is like basically that plastic window cover. It actually worked pretty well in just creating another layer instead of Tyvek, and actually it's super light and it packs down even better than Tyvek. So next up is my tent and then my fly. So this is a Durston tent, and I will get into this in a separate review. A great tent, but the reason I chose a tent for this particular trip was it was going to be a little chilly, so just creating a little bit warmer environment, but also just in case of rain. And actually, looking around, it might rain today, which is kind of exciting for Phoenix. So I did carry this specific tent. I probably could have gotten away with a regular bivvy setup, but I went with the tent. At the bottom here is my Katabatic Gear Palisade quilt, and it's at the bottom because it's the first thing I typically pack. So if I was to, say, endure some rain out there, I probably would switch a few things. My tent would more than likely be in that front pack, but my sleeping bag would more than likely be in a dry bag that is, well, actually dry. This stuff sack that is up front isn't necessarily 100%. All right, so moving down the bike here. Up top, this is my top two bag. It just carries snacks. Snacks. Sour Patch Kids watermelon, a bunch of bars, some nuts, Snickers. Really, it's kind of picked through at this point, so things that, say, are easy to pack, I'll put up here, but bigger items, I will definitely end up putting in the frame bag. So this is a huge frame bag. It's got two compartments, a lower and a top, and so what I ended up carrying in the top here was my drone. So obviously, more times than not, you're probably not going to be carrying a drone. That is kind of what fills a lot of this space. So inside here is my stove kit right here. And this is a stove kit that I highlighted on the channel this year, or 2024, and you can check that out. I'll put it in the description below. And then kind of right back here is my repair kit, which is pretty easily accessible because the zipper goes both directions. And in my repair kit, you know, I've got everything I need from a tire puncture to breaking a chain, brake pads, extra bolts, really everything that I can think of when I break something on my bike, I can get from this. And then right here is obviously a spare tube. Okay, and then I have some zip ties. This is a spare zip tie for the mica rack. just in case those do break. And these are super strong zip ties, so they're good for other purposes as well. So this is kind of filled with a bunch of random stuff right now. This is, however, where I typically will carry a 2-liter bladder, and oftentimes I can carry a little bit more down here. Right now this is just a bunch of trash, but I do end up carrying my extra food in this zone too, or up here. I kind of mix and match, whatever works really. There's no right or wrong way of doing things, wherever you can find space, right? So I had a bunch of tortillas, I had like a chicken packet, a coleslaw packet in here, a freeze-dried coleslaw packet, which was delicious. And I mixed all that together for lunch yesterday. So here's my 2-liter bladder, which does fit nicely down here. This is a Hydropack 2-liter bladder. Empty, of course, because I went through it all. Here's a cookie. This is from Rock Springs Village. If you've ever been on the Black Canyon Trail, you know Rock Springs. This was a 2-pack. I ate one. I'll have the other one right after this video. And then I also have I think it's a 750 milliliter filtration system. And so when I say want to extend my water capacity, I will actually fill this up as well as that 2-liter bladder paired with another 750 milliliter water bottle down here. So for me, I typically am not like the biggest water drinker out there. I can serve quite a bit, but if I really wanted to carry extra water on this particular rig, I would consider the 3-pack mounts on the mica rack and also fork mounted water bottles. So as I move along, I've got my packed trowel poop kit right here. I have a super long spork, which always comes in handy. I've got a container for one of my favorite beverages. I have the Wolf Tooth pump here, which I'm absolutely loving. Kind of squeezed down at the bottom here, this is something that is actually pretty nice to hide down here. I have my tent poles. Now I could probably put my tent poles up here, but I like them down here. They're out of the way. The Durston tent poles for this specific tent certainly are longer than maybe I would like. That said, they are lightweight and, well, they fit this frame. So if they didn't fit the frame, then I'd have to kind of rethink some things. Maybe put the poles on the rack, on the down tube, or maybe take a different sleep setup. But then I have this it's kind of like my DOP kit. And inside this headlamp, I've got my toothbrush, toothpaste, really some like ibuprofen and stuff. I've got some Cholula packets. This is where I carry my Ruby Roasters coffee, instant coffee, which is my favorite. Yeah, just some odds and ends. I've got some headphones in here just in case, I don't know, I needed to hear some music or a podcast or something like that. And then on the other side of this frame bag is another pocket. So that's where I carry my ratchet if I need to adjust things. It's just easily available, and when it's easily available, I'll tend to use it more and fix any issues that I might run into. Some chapstick. My lips are dry. I also have some sunscreen, my chain lube, really things that I'll end up using quickly or need quickly. A really small Gerber Leatherman style tool. And then I also have extra batteries for my particular setup. You might not have electronic shifting. In this case, I do, and they're easily accessible when I do run out. Although the access shifting on this bike went roughly 30 hours of ride time without dying, so that's pretty exciting there. And that is the frame bag. Last but not least, the mica rack down here is holding the Ultra PE dry bag from Rockgeist. This is actually one of my favorite dry bags on the market because it is really durable and it will keep all of the rain out. And that is the goal when you want a dry bag. So open this up here. I've got some Astier straps holding the bag together. And really, this is a pretty heavy duty dry bag as well, but it does a great job and it sits nicely on the mica rack. So inside the bag here, the first thing is typically what I wore basically last night, I had my puffy on, and also my puffy pants. So these are just Mountain Hardwear pants and jacket. I actually did a full layering system video. It goes over all of my layering system. Some Borealis wool boxers, my knee warmers, rain pants, my rain jacket, some wool socks for camp, my Nemo tensor sleeping pad, and this was kind of the one piece of the puzzle where I wasn't actually sure when I got to Arizona where I was going to put it, and it ended up living in here. And more times than not, I tend to put the sleeping pad in one of the stuff sacks or dry bags, but I wanted to fit it in this frame bag. It just didn't work that way, but it works just fine in this bag. I've got my dish gloves for when it does rain and it gets cold. These keep me pretty warm. And then just my one luxury item here, my Nemo pillow. So that is about it. Obviously, if I wanted to add a few other things, I probably could add, my Tyvek down here or a nice foam pad to sit on. But that is basically a very simple, I'd say almost minimalist pack system. Obviously, some folks are going to have a smaller frame space, but I kind of compensated that with obviously the drone in here. But if I was to say need a little bit more space, obviously the fork is a great spot for extra water storage. I can put more stuff on the rear rack. I can definitely get a larger stuff sack for my handlebar system, stem bags as well. I tend not to like stem bags because when I move really tight corners, switchbacks on single track, they tend to rub or impede my steering. So I try to keep that zone clear. Yeah, and then obviously I could also kind of consider water storage up on the top of the top tube, which I've done in the past with success. Grabbing this. All right, so one more thing I almost forgot. So my hip pack, obviously, it carries other electronics, other cameras and things to capture my trips. But one thing that you'll more than likely want to carry on a trip like this is a battery bank pack. And so I have this Anchor, I think it's like a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, and it works well. And I'll carry that. I will carry a few cords to charge certain devices. Usually it's just for my phone. And then I just have extra batteries in here, and then my Garmin InReach. And yeah, and then I have a bunch of buffs as well, 2 buffs that I didn't actually have in my rear bag that normally are in there. They're in here right now because it was a cold ride last night. And this is just a Deuter smaller hip pack that carries my camera. But for folks that don't carry cameras, this is also another great spot for storage, especially layers throughout the day. If you are shedding layers or needing to add layers, having them in a hip pack is a great way to not only keep weight kind of light on your back, but also kind of double as just super convenient layering system. And if you really have to, obviously water in the back, but I always try to say less weight on your back is better for, yeah. That about does it. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like what you saw in this video and want to see more like it, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to help support everything we do on this YouTube channel at BIKEPACKING.com, you can do so by joining the Bikepacking Collective. The Collective offers a lot of awesome perks, including industry discounts, monthly giveaways, and the twice yearly Bikepacking Journal. So for more on the Bikepacking Collective, you can click on the card in the top right corner, or also follow the link in the description below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, pedal further.